The butterflies are blooming here at Garden Crossings. Hi, I'm Heidi, and today we are in the butterfly house, and it has been a long time since I've done this video for you, and I apologize for that. But we were having a little bit of issues here earlier on in the butterfly house, and primarily that issue was frogs. Somehow frogs were getting in here and they were eating our caterpillars, so we really weren't getting any butterflies. So once we got the frogs all pulled out, there was about 10 of them, and I don't know how they got in, but if there's a will, there's a way, right? Once we got them removed, I bought another batch of little tiny caterpillars in, the monarch caterpillars, and finally the butterfly house is cycling and we've got activity. So we're excited to let you know that if you're in the area of Zeeland, Michigan, you can head on out to the butterfly house and just see all the beautiful monarch butterflies that are in this house. So, oh, there was one just saying hi. So pretty to watch. They're just so peaceful, I think. So in the butterfly house, even though we were kind of waiting for the caterpillars to cycle through, there's still maintenance that happens in it throughout the summer. So it's an enclosed environment, in an enclosed greenhouse. We have shade cloth on the edge, so air does get through, obviously, but the shade cloth is so small because we don't want to let other bugs and insects in, so it does kind of hamper the airflow a little bit. This can be a very hot and humid environment just because of the fact that there is not a lot of air that gets into here. So one thing that does is it makes the plants look gorgeous, especially early on in the season. The butterfly house is usually in full bloom about 6 weeks before we have any beautiful color in the outdoor gardens. So it's nice to give people kind of a jump start of walking through a garden when it's just not beautiful outside. Also, that means that the plants are always very ahead of schedule because they just are in this warmer environment. So we've gone through, the gardeners have gone through, and they do a lot of deadheading, a lot of trimming. Sometimes we can get some powdery mildew in here just because it is kind of a moist feeling environment. So we had a beautiful aster. I mean, it was huge and it was loaded with powdery mildew. So we went through, ripped out the asters, and now have planted coneflowers in their place because coneflowers do very well in the butterfly house. So if you're going to create a little butterfly oasis in your garden, what do you need to do? Obviously, you don't have to be in an enclosed space. We all know that because the butterflies wouldn't be able to get in. But you do need to have certain plants in your garden that will attract the butterflies. So for us here at Garden Crossings, our main emphasis is the monarch butterfly. So plants that you need for the monarch butterfly would be Aesculapius, milkweed, other people call it butterfly weed. There's several different varieties available. There's perennial varieties, and there's also annual varieties. So for us in Michigan, the annual varieties will die back at the end of the year and they don't come back. Our perennials, they'll die back and they'll come back the next season. The reason why I like to incorporate both the perennial and the annual in the butterfly house is because an annual milkweed has a lot more foliage on it, which is a lot more food for those caterpillars. So as I'm looking at just these couple plants right here, I'm looking for holes. If I see holes in the leaf, that gets me excited. That usually tells me there's a caterpillar present on these plants. So let's take a closer look here. Actually, as I'm just standing here and I turned my head, I quickly noticed a few caterpillars. So let's go in and take a look first at the caterpillars. So this particular caterpillar it's a nice size. I would say it's about halfway through its life cycle. Just at a glance over here, I noticed one. And this one here is significantly smaller. And even though that looks significantly smaller, that's still not small. Let's see if we can find a small little one. So I'm looking for the holes in the leaves. I flip it over to try to see if I can see the caterpillars. Whoever was munching here definitely has made some progress and has moved around. Ah, there we go. So do you see in front of my fingernail there? That is a very fresh new caterpillar. It is micro, but that's how they start out. It's just teeny tiny, and they eat their way through the plant and become a nice big plump caterpillar that then turns into a beautiful chrysalis. Before you have caterpillars though, you may want to be looking for the eggs. So what do you look for if you're looking for a monarch egg? I'm going to show you right here because I just quickly glanced and saw one. Usually we'll see these monarch eggs on the underneath side of the plant, but with all of the butterflies right now, they have been laying eggs just fast and furiously. So we are finding them in so many different areas. But if you see kind of a tiny little, it's almost oval if you look at it closely, speck on your plant, more than likely that's going to be that caterpillar, a monarch caterpillar egg that you're looking for. So you have the eggs, you have the caterpillars, and the caterpillars are munching and crunching their way, and then they'll go off and they'll form a chrysalis in the greenhouse, which right now at quick glance I'm not seeing one, but we'll put a picture up of a monarch chrysalis so you know what to look for if you're looking in your garden. Once that chrysalis emerges, you have all of the beautiful butterflies that will be visiting your garden. So we are so excited because we finally are starting to find some black swallowtail caterpillars out in our outdoor gardens. We planted parsley, dill, and fennel because those are 3 host plants for the black swallowtails. And I believe we've brought 7 or 8 caterpillars into the butterfly house. And the reason why I also want the black swallowtails, unlike the monarchs, which their chrysalises do not overwinter here in Michigan, a black swallowtail chrysalis will overwinter, and then when it's spring and they're ready to emerge, we'll have a population of black swallowtail kind of all on their own. With the monarchs, I have to buy new caterpillars in every year to get the population going again. So we're excited. I do know that the caterpillars are no longer in caterpillar form here in the greenhouse. They have gone off to their chrysalis stage, and I'm going to actually show you one if it's still there. Let's take a little walk. Because I think it's important, if you're looking in your garden, you want to know what to look for if you're trying to attract the butterflies. So we'll go in here, and so this little guy attached himself to one of our biological packets. The biologicals are good bugs that eat bad bugs, such as aphids and thrip. So that is the chrysalis that you would look for if you're looking for a black swallowtail chrysalis. So all these exciting fun things. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the plants that we have in the butterfly house. So like I said, we wanted the host plants of the Asclepias or milkweed for the monarchs. We have dill, fennel, and parsley in here, which are the house plants for the black swallowtails. But in addition to having host plants, you obviously want the pollinator plants as well. So we've got some beautiful butterfly bush here. These are the compact forms of the pugster butterfly bush. We have pugster dark or pugster blue, which is that dark deep purple. We have pugster amethyst, which is a little bit lighter purple, and then pugster now pinker in the front, and they usually only get about 2 foot tall or so. So nice compact blooms with huge flowers. We have some Lobellaria snow princess in the front, which is a nice pollinator plant. We've got petunias, because of course those are always, a nice plant to put in the garden anyways, but also are a great pollinator plant. Verbena. This is verbena meteor showers. The butterflies love verbena meteor showers. That's such a great wispy, airy plant to put out in your garden because it's so dainty and fun. But again, it's really one of those plants the butterflies love. We have corabelles or heuchera. This is the mahogany monster variety, and I must say, if you are looking for an excellent corabelle for your garden, this plant has been in bloom since May. It just continues to flower, beautiful foliage, and typically I don't like to talk much about corabelle flowers because they're not exciting in my opinion, but this plant here has done fabulous with great flowers. Cone flowers we have nestled in here along with some more milkweed. Zinnias. Zinnias are a great plant to put in a butterfly garden. Butterflies love to hang out on the zinnias. More butterfly bush. We do a lot with the butterfly bush because it smells so yummy. It smells so good. And they're really pretty too when they're in flower. Here's butterfly really diving into this one here. Ugh. Just loving that. So when you're planting your garden, you don't only want to take into consideration your spring and your summer color, you want to have fall color as well, because fall color means nectar plants for the butterflies as well. So we have some sedum in this garden, which would give us the later in the season color. Although again, because we're in this warm environment, the sedum are currently blooming now. It's July. But definitely you want to keep in mind keeping that nectar source that going for the butterflies throughout the season. White milkweed, there's yellow milkweed, there's orange milkweed, red milkweed, all different kinds of milkweed. So one thing people have really been telling me about the butterfly house is when they walk in here, it's such a calming, such a serene environment that they can sit in here and just really relax, take it in, and enjoy the moments. So that's our hope, is that not only to be educated with butterflies, monarchs in specific, but just to be able to have a calming, comfortable place to come and enjoy the butterflies. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you're new to our station or haven't subscribed, it helps us out if you can subscribe to our channel, and we appreciate that. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.